I'm really bummed about this because after 7 years streaming on Netflix, Orange is the New Black is saying goodbye with its final season. The series is Netflix's most watched original show. Here's a look at what you can expect.
I've never heard you laugh before. It is unnerving.
What do we do when we reach the place where we don't know what to do?
We're gonna get each other through this.
So it'll be like old times?
Giving up is not the answer.
It is good to see you.
We have to find our own answers.
So joining us now is Dale Souls. She stars as Frieda Berlin in the show, and she even has her tag on there.
Welcome. Yeah, you're
for
wearing
joining us.
your Litchfield tag.
Yeah.
I am. And I thought since today is the premiere of season 7, and I am now sadly being let out of prison.
Don't take it off.
Remove
Stay in
it
prison.
on your show.
Oh man,
It's an
I feel honored
exclusive.
and somehow, and somehow not honored by
Right.
this whole thing.
Shall we put it
so
back on?
let's, well,
That's very
so
cool.
listen, this is the 7th season. Now,
Yes.
we were talking to Matt here, who's a fan of the show, and he pointed out something to us that you joined in the 2nd season.
Yes.
This was like one of the first original Netflix shows ever. Did you even know what streaming could be?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No, I was clueless. As a matter of fact, as I was saying to you briefly just a moment ago, when I was called for the audition, I wondered, why are they sending me up for a show called Orange is the New Black? I thought it was about fashion.
Right.
But luckily, I kept my mouth shut. And then I looked it up on YouTube, and there was the first episode, and I saw what it was really about. And I thought, oh, yes, there are things here I understand and I know about.
And your character, I mean, the arc of your character has been really fascinating for me as a fan of the show to watch, because when you first started in the second season, you were sort of on the periphery. We saw you were very resourceful and you came to the aid of several of the other ladies from time to time. But in the last season, when we learned so much more about your backstory, how you came to be a survivalist, somebody who is super resourceful, and this back history that you had with the Denning sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which was incredible, which was really, really wonderful. Tell us about the arc of your character and how it's been like playing Frieda.
Well, it's fascinating playing it, because in this particular series, you only got one script at a time. And so you never had any idea what you were going to do next, or any backstory initially about why you were doing what you did. So it was revealed to me as it was revealed to the audience, you know, except a little bit beforehand,
so you could
that I
prepare.
could learn the lines.
Right.
But it was always a surprise. As a matter of fact, I think the second time I worked, I read the script, and it said that I had removed a very important appendage of my husband.
Yes. With a dull knife.
With a dull knife.
Yes, it wasn't very sharp.
And that made me very happy. And so this worried me. And I went home and thought about it, and I went back to the film crew happened to be filming on my street in Park Slope.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so I found out where they were having lunch. I went over, I spoke to our wonderful producer, Lisa Vinacour, and I said, is it possible, could I speak to the writer?
Right.
Because I'd like to know at least if I did that, or was I just pumping up the jam to frighten the kitchen help?
Right.
And she said, yeah, you can ask her. And I asked her, I believe it was Lauren Morelli, who is now the showrunner on Tales of the City.
Oh, right.
Yeah? And she said, nope, you did it.
But
You did it. So then I went home.
I would need more.
Why?
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So I wrote my own backstory, you know, 3 or 4 pages. Why would I do it? How could I justify such a thing? And that helped. And then, of course, as time went on, I had to just throw backstories out like this, like, nope, that's not it. You know,
Yeah, because I would
wild.
think, going to prison is sort of this pivotal moment in a person's life. It transforms them. And without knowing the why, how you got there
Yeah.
for so many seasons,
Right.
how do you play this
Well,
character?
that's tough. That's the actor's job, though. And this was a new part for me, a new way of working. Trying to figure it out
Yeah.
with each new script. What would have made her do this? And then so when I got the backstory, I was very, very happy.
Wait, do we know why she's in prison?
Yeah,
We don't know exactly yet, do we?
There's not a full. Yeah, so go ahead, Frida.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
going to
What
say
can you
Frida.
tell
Go ahead,
us?
Dale.
I can tell you that it was never fully explained.
Yeah.
Right.
What you find out is that she's not even sure if she's in prison for a particular murder or not. You see her, I believe it's in the 3rd season, wondering, was
Yeah.
that the one?
Was that the one?
I
Yeah.
got,
Right.
caught out. So she has killed several people. And, she understands what to do with the body, as we know from the episodes in the garden.
Right, right.
Where her altruism comes out, I think.
Listen, what people might not know about you is,
Yeah.
it's not just Orange is the New Black. You've been on Broadway.
Right.
What's next? I mean, would you want to go back to Broadway? Are you interested in another streaming show? Or
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes,
Oh,
I
of
just
course,
just
yes.
shot a sequence on an episode on the Marvelous
That's
Mrs.
great.
Maisel.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go into rehearsal for a week's workshop of a female-identified version of the musical 1776. So
Very
female
cool.
identified.
so it's not all
means-
female, but it's from a female
Well, it
point of
may
view?
be all female, but it allows for a gentleman who identifies as a female to audition for it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's what the language.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
Dale, one of the things before we let you go
Sure.
is what I've always loved about Orange is the New Black is not only that it focused primarily on women and it gave a lot of women acting roles,
Absolutely.
which are difficult to come by, but it was this backstory idea that they I think in the very beginnings of the show, I thought to myself, like, where is that person from? What have they
Yep.
done? And so many of the stories are you identify, even though you're not a criminal. A lot of these people are not. They are criminals under the law, but they are human beings.
It's a
who've
thin
had-
line.
Yeah, it's a thin line. Exactly. That's
Yes.
been the most fascinating aspect of the show as a fan.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Yes, I think that's what humanizes the people who happen to have gotten caught. Because if I sit and I think about things I've done in my life, there are definitely things I've done that I might have been arrested for in my youth. Certainly not now.
Yeah, right, for sure.
But there's no question about that. So it's such a thin line between what's legal and what isn't, and whether you're going to be arrested or whether you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the. There's so many. That's such a vehicle for social change. Those kinds of stories. I can speak to that very clearly. The theater absolutely saved my life, so I know it's a vehicle for social change, without a doubt. And I've talked to so many people from as diverse as we are on the show, our audience is that diverse. Age, race, socioeconomic strata, body type, you name it. The diversity is as diverse as our characters, and that's groundbreaking because it proved that there is an audience for, as long as it's a good story and it's a
Yeah.
human story.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
an
just
audience
always
there.
found the diversity, the number of women, and the fact that you would know people like this in your
Yeah.
life.
Yes.
It's just
That's a
it
great
was an
point.
incredible show.
I had a woman come to me after a show at Lincoln Center that it did with Patti LuPone and Michael Urie. And she said, I just want to say that I have a sister who's incarcerated, and I've never been able to understand it. I kind of ostracized her after that happened. I just could not understand how she could have been so stupid. And she said, honestly, I called her last week, and I called her because of that show.
Wow.
So that's the kind of thing that is very, very rewarding. And
Very nice.
I couldn't be, I don't want to choke myself up, but but I do feel very strongly that it's so related, and also to what was going on socially, whether it was Poussey lying there for 2 days, as in Ferguson, whether it was the privatization of the prison and how that operated. So many
the
issues,
guards, yeah.
were, and also, of course, the immigrant situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Dale Souls, so glad that you were here.
Thank you very much. We've been the benefit. Well, you say that you've been blessed to be a part of this, but we've been blessed to watch
So
your story.
blessed.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.